Good afternoon. My name is Kathy Morales. I'm a community outreach coordinator with the County Office of Human Rights and Equity. For those of you who may not be familiar with our office, we are an entity of Howard County government that seeks to eradicate discrimination, increase equal opportunity, and protect and promote human rights. The office serves as a catalyst in fostering attitudes and beliefs among county residents, which confirm that all individuals have equal opportunity to enjoy a wholesome and productive quality of life free from discrimination. Under the leadership of Administrator Yolanda Sanier, we aim to provide county residents with excellent services and programming. Our office accomplishes its mission through the Investigations Unit, the Equity and Restorative Practices Unit, and the Community Outreach Unit. Hashtag Humans of Howard County is a new initiative highlighting the people that live and make up our diverse county. This is a chance for you to tell your story and have engaging conversations. June is Pride Month. It commemorates the Stonewall riots, celebrates the achievements of the LGBTQ plus community, and reminds us of their continuous fight for equality. So for today's guest, I have Kamilah with me. Kamilah is a Washington, D.C. artist who focuses her business on skincare and mental health wellness. Kamilah has completed her master's level study in organizational communications. This graduate level study promoted Kamilah to start her lifestyle and skincare brand, Lavender Spells. During her master's study, she completed her thesis to focus on womanism, an adaptation of the feminist movement in the African American community. This study developed her real passion for focusing on women. The need for advocacy is necessary in creating a positive mindset perspective. It has become her life's work to connect with other women while developing new heights as an artist. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, everyone.
Hi,
You're so welcome.
how are you
Thank
doing
you for
today?
having me.
Of course, of course. So let's get started. So the first question for you is, what does Pride Month mean to you?
So, Pride Month to me is a celebration of each person, regardless of their particular background that falls within that group. The LGBTQIA plus. It means recognizing those who are within our group living openly, or those who we have lost voluntarily or involuntarily within the LGBTQIA spectrum.
Thank you for that. And
You're welcome.
how can we build an atmosphere how can we build an atmosphere of inclusion as a society?
So, inclusion, I think inclusion starts with the attitude. So, once we change our attitude, the focus becomes more smoother, yet more progressive. And I don't often use the word progressive, but it's needed when you're describing the need for change. And so we cannot change a thought or an idea that were instilled in us or the way that we're raised overnight, but we can expect progress. And so that's where I use the idea of progression in the attitude of change.
No, definitely. It's
Yeah.
important. It's very
Yeah, and I
important.
think just being able to shift in some small way our dynamics of our thinking and our dynamics of what we're familiar with will help the altitude altogether to be able to be more inclusive.
Yeah, no, exactly. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
So, in your opinion, what is the biggest or the most common misconception about the LGBTQ plus community?
Okay. So I think the most common misconception is, as I see it, a lot of the times we're identified as a group for like the nature of our sexual act, and not to be inappropriate. The act of it is just to focus on the love. And when we focus on the love, including the heart, and what we lead with in regards to demonstrating how we interact with others through our communications, through our indulgence as we interact, as we see those persons that we walk with, or we may work with those individuals or have individuals within our family, I think the scope of that focus of how it's described becomes more on a love aspect, and describing the community in more of a positive light. And definitely for me as a lesbian woman, I do have those interactions where it's falsified of our view, but we want to make sure that we ignite the more positive perspectives of what we stand for.
Definitely. Love is love.
Love is love.
Love is love.
Love is love.
And what's one thing that you think we should be cognizant of during Pride Month?
So I would say the big thing that we should be cognizant of during this month is each day to be more patient in our interactions with others, and recognizing those who need the encouragement, or even those who just need that kindness. When you think about kindness, you think about togetherness, you think about awareness within the community, and how those topics become sensitive. And when you think about the sensitivity of those topics, you will lend a more softer perspective on how you add support to the community.
Yeah, definitely. Like, at the end of the day, we're all human. So,
Yeah, and I think that humanization, definitely going back to the title of why we're starting this segment, Humans of Our County, the humanization has the context of being more, less conservative and more drawn towards the perspective of love. So, yeah, going back to your statement of it, love being love, love also has to communicate that perspective of being human.
yeah, no, definitely. I
Yeah,
agree.
yeah,
And
for sure.
and looking back, is there
Mhm.
anything that you would tell your younger self, or you would tell some youth out there watching this video?
Yeah, so I would say, like, looking back, I can think of myself as just being very shy. A lot of the times when people meet me, they don't believe that I'm shy, but I do explain to them that I am introvert extrovert. So
Yep.
what that means is that introvert is the perspective that I have usually while I'm out in public, or I might interact with others that I'm not familiar with. But my extrovert portion of myself is my business, and
Yeah.
it's the comfortability. And so it just has you gain more of a perspective of being in familiar environments that make you feel comfortable. And so when I look back at my younger self and thinking about how shy I was or how scared I was to be out loud, even talking about what we're talking about now and being prideful of who I was as a lesbian woman, I would definitely tell myself to know that you matter.
Yes.
Know that I was far beyond my years. I think a lot of the times I was always like an advocate for justice and injustice. I would be the one in the room, whereas as I grew older into my teenage years and definitely as a young adult woman, I definitely spoke up for other individuals. I found that I couldn't stand in a room and see someone be mistreated and not say something. I'm very observant of the people around me, so I know how to engage in ways that stand for justice, and I'm passionate about it. So I would tell myself to go for anything that I fell in love with, which I'm doing now, and to make it count.
Yeah.
And the way you make it count is being authentic to yourself, authentic to your beliefs, authentic to your environment, because your environment influences a lot of your decisions. Your environment influences a lot of whom and what you surround yourself with. So, being more cognizant of what that means to you will display a more positive perspective as well as a more productive perspective. And reaching back to my studies and my graduate study and my thesis, I studied productivity. And when we relate productivity to classicism or sexism as it pertains to being a woman, and for myself being a black woman, a black queer woman, we want to make sure that we're setting the tone and the environment for a perspective that's building forth new leaders as myself.
No, definitely. I feel like, when we look back at our younger selves, we see
Yeah.
ourselves like in a smaller version, having these
Yeah.
dreams, but not being able or knowing what the future will hold. But then, as we get older, look back and think, oh, well, I had this thought, or these were
Yeah.
the things I liked, or this is what, I was passionate about. But I
Yeah.
think we don't really grow up until we are at a certain point that we look back and realize I can do this, to have
Hmm.
faith in ourselves and being able to have that self-respect to be able to achieve what we enjoy. And
Yeah.
especially if you were able to, you're a businesswoman, so
Yeah.
I think that's amazing.
Yeah, and really, to be honest, I mean, it just, again, I just want to highlight the sense of community.
Yes.
Community doesn't always have to be what you're born into. And I would say that's a big ideal for those that are within the LGBTQI community, is that their community is based on, those that come along the way. And they become family. So
Yeah.
friends might be family, teachers might be family,
Mentors. Yes.
mentors might be
Your
family.
support system. Yes.
Exactly. So family is defined very different over
Yeah,
time. And
exactly.
then that becomes the environment and the influence for going back to progression, and being
Exactly.
able to lead progressively.
Yeah, no, thank you. That's very
Yeah.
true. So, yourself as a business
Mhm.
owner, what are your thoughts on companies marketing during a Pride Month?
So my thoughts, as for myself, is just going back to my word that I stated earlier, is being authentic. And I think companies who market during Pride should be more encouraged to be educated in the use of pronouns,
Yes.
in the use of inclusion with interacting with groups that are a part of the LGBTQI community or person who shops within your company. I think a big part of Pride that matters is also being inclusive with your employees all the time. Don't just make it, a thing that's celebrated within that month.
Exactly.
Even though we celebrate it for a month, imagine that Pride is celebrated throughout this person or persons each and every day practice.
Yeah.
So we should also be doing the same as businesses, as companies, as organizations. We should make sure that our beliefs stand within those perspectives, because we want to make sure that our message is genuine. And I think the LGBTQIA community, not that I'm speaking for the community, just speaking for being a person, a part of it, we, in myself, I like to feel loyalty. So when I, go to a business or go to an organization or a company that I'm a part of, whether I'm working for them or not, I like to make sure that their views are loyal, that you're loyal for the commitment that what I'm providing as far as the service or what I'm providing as far as me showing up. And that really makes the difference on having that customer to come back, having that customer to refer your company and to refer to other businesses as well for future partnerships. So that's how you build a company that is more longevity in the nation of being able to be inclusive.
Yeah, no, totally.
Hmm.
I agree. It's this sense of community, and being
Yeah.
able to educate and also empower. So it's very
Empower.
important.
Empower is a great word,
Yes.
because there are times where you might have employees that come in and you don't know that, maybe they might have had not the best night or the
Yeah.
morning, or might not be having the best time in this perspective of this time of their life, and they come into your job or they come into your organization, and that might be the light for their day. So we want to make sure that our attitudes, going back to the starting of where we began as far as the atmosphere, making sure that our attitudes match with the message.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And lastly, is there an ally or an organization that you would like to shout out?
Hmm. So I would say an ally for me that has been personal, that I specifically has seen to be consistent in the topic of inclusivity, would definitely be Busboys and Poets. Their message and their mission and their vision is totally surrounded around inclusivity. And it's not just something that they do within a month's time frame. They do it each and every day because it's in their mission statement for the company. And I think the owner, Andy Shalal, as he ranges from Virginia to Howard County to DC, Tacoma Park. I think his out to Baltimore as well. So many areas that need that inclusivity that most people, might not range to as far as opening a business. But he has opened up that perspective of allowing vision to be in areas that can be progressive and be inclusive, to be positive for everyone that's involved.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So thank you so much for participating and sharing your story. This was a great conversation. Thank you for sharing your thoughts and just being able to let us know more about you.
Yes, I'm so happy to even be here. When you guys reached out to me and asked me if I can be involved, I definitely felt like this was an initiative that I would support. And I know you guys have so much more coming afloat as far as involvement within the community. So I think this was definitely on point to what we need to move towards, and just having that positivity within the systems of the government, and what we display as far as being able to build up our community.
Definitely. Thank you so much. That means
You're
so much.
welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you. So take care and tune in next week for a different county resident story. If you've experienced discrimination, would like to attend one of our events or trainings, or if you have any questions, please visit our website or follow us at HOCRE, OHRE, on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Thanks for joining and